Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Moments. As if they never want to give up, another situation has emerged that once again raises questions about the narratives pushed by some haters. This time, a simple vlog has raised some serious questions about theories that have long been presented as though they were facts. Previously, Jungkook became the target of attacks from some of Winter's fans. He was called a bad person, a coward, and even considered a terrible boyfriend because he was allegedly unwilling to publicly acknowledge a supposed relationship with Winter. It all started with theories about tattoos that were believed to be identical or connected. From there, various other accusations emerged, including claims that Jungkook wanted to take advantage of Winter's popularity. Then Taehyung's vlog appeared, showing him at the gym with Hobi and Jungkook. What caught people's attention was that both of Jungkook's arms were clearly visible. This matters because a particular tattoo had previously been used as one of the main foundations for theories about Jungkook and Winter. Yet in that moment, the tattoo that had supposedly been presented as evidence was nowhere to be seen. So, what happened to all those previous accusations? For some time, various small details were used to support a particular narrative. Blurry photos, unclear body parts, clothing, and even the way Jungkook dressed were all interpreted as evidence. There was even a theory that Jungkook deliberately wore long sleeves to hide a certain tattoo. Even when the weather was hot, Jungkook's clothing choices were still incorporated into the theory. The problem is that when both of his arms were finally more clearly visible while working out, the supposed evidence behind those claims once again failed to appear. Of course, this situation does not prove whether Jungkook and Winter are or are not in a relationship. We do not know anything about their private lives. What we can say is that a claim previously presented with a high level of certainty turned out not to have as strong a foundation as it was made to seem. And this is where we need to distinguish between facts, interpretations, and speculation. There is nothing wrong with someone saying, "I like this ship," or "I think they look good together." That is simply a fan's personal choice and interpretation. The problem begins when speculation turns into absolute certainty and is then used to attack Jungkook, call him a coward, accuse him of being a bad boyfriend, or blame him for refusing to provide confirmation. Jungkook has no obligation to confirm his romantic life to any fandom. If one day he chooses to talk about his private life, that decision belongs entirely to him. Until then, it is unfair for anyone to create their own story and then punish Jungkook for not acting according to that script. The same should apply to Winter. Without direct confirmation from the people involved, her name should not be used as a tool to create conflict, theories, or attacks against another artist. And, of course, this discussion eventually brings us back to Jimin and Jikook. Interestingly, whenever rumors connect Jungkook with someone else, Jimin often gets dragged into the situation as well. It is as if Jimin is somehow responsible for Jungkook's decisions. When Jungkook does not confirm a particular rumor, some people claim that he is bound by a fan service contract with Jimin. When Jungkook interacts with Jimin, everything is suddenly labeled as a strategy. If Jimin approaches Jungkook, some say Jimin is making him uncomfortable. If Jungkook seeks out Jimin, others claim the company forced him to do it. Even when something happens that does not fit a particular ship, Jimin somehow becomes the person to blame again. Doesn't that actually show how unreasonable this narrative is? Jimin does not control who Jungkook interacts with. He does not decide what Jungkook says, does, posts, or chooses to show. Jungkook is an individual with his own choices and his own life. Jungkook also lives and works alongside every member of BTS. He has different relationships with Taehyung, Hobi, Jin, Namjoon, Yoongi, and Jimin. Each friendship and connection has its own dynamic. Not every relationship needs to be turned into a competition between ships. Even in that vlog, Hobi was also at the gym with Taehyung and Jungkook. His presence does not need to be erased simply to create a particular narrative. However, if we are specifically talking about Jikook, there is one thing that is difficult to ignore. Jimin and Jungkook have clearly shown closeness and comfort around each other on many occasions throughout the years. Their interactions are part of BTS's public history and one of the reasons so many fans enjoy their dynamic. But once again, Seeing closeness in public does not give us access to their private lives. Only Jimin and Jungkook truly know what exists between them. That is why we do not need to turn every Jikook moment into proof of a romantic relationship. But we also do not need to pretend their closeness does not exist simply because some people are uncomfortable seeing it. There is no need to claim that Jimin forces Jungkook just to explain why they share moments together. There is no need to label every interaction as fan service just to erase its meaning. And most importantly, there is no need to attack another member just to defend a particular ship. If a ship requires Jimin to constantly be portrayed as the villain in order to make sense, then the problem is not Jimin. The same applies to every ship. Fans are free to have their own interpretations, but interpretations should not become facts simply because they are repeated over and over again. If we want our own ships to be respected, we should also respect other ships and, most importantly, respect the privacy and boundaries of BTS members. This tattoo situation should serve as a simple reminder. Today, the debate might be about a tattoo. Tomorrow, it could be clothing, a glance, a song, a photo, an accessory, or some other tiny detail. From one small detail, an entire story can be created. Then that story is treated as truth simply because so many people keep repeating it. In the end, the most important question is not, which ship is real? But rather, what do we actually know? We can see a moment. We can talk about it. We can enjoy Jimin and Jungkook's interactions. We can even support them as a duo. But we need to understand the difference between what we actually see, what we interpret, and what is simply speculation. Jimin is not anyone's enemy. Jungkook does not owe any fandom an explanation about his private life. Winter should not be used as a tool to attack Jungkook or any other artist either. And no fan theory automatically becomes a fact simply because it has been repeated thousands of times. At the end of the day, BTS members only show the public what they choose to show. Everything else belongs to their private lives. As fans, we can enjoy their moments, support our idols, and have our own interpretations. But we do not need to create ship wars, find a villain, or attack someone simply because reality does not match the story we want to believe. Because respecting our idols is not only about supporting them when they do something we like. Respecting them also means accepting that some parts of their lives are simply not ours to know. And perhaps that is the most important lesson of all. Separate facts from theories. Enjoy the moments without forcing a narrative, and let Jimin, Jungkook, Winter, and all the BTS members live their lives without having to fulfill stories created by fandoms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for the next video. See you again on Jikook Moments.